Okay, I'm going to talk about consciousness in a way that you have probably never heard before. At least I think so because it came from my own head. The popular thing right now is that everything is consciousness. I'm here to say no, it is not. And if that's true, where is consciousness? And what happens when there is not consciousness? And how does that relate to Carl Jung? I'm about to tell you. Okay, first things first, I'm sure y'all have heard of the collective unconscious. This is unconscious, as in most humans are not conscious of it, but make no mistake, consciousness is here. Okay, now for a second, try to erase your mind of everything you know. The collective unconscious is a mix of plasma, the fourth state of matter, and consciousness, which is both the same thing, differentiated in duality as two things, so they can learn from each other, evolve, and so we see images, sounds, tastes, etc. Consciousness can be light information, and plasma can be sense, awareness, feeling, knowing, intuition, imagination. Just to make it more understandable, plasma, which is known as an ionized gas or an intergalactic medium, it is known as moldable substance. It is the clay, the Play-Doh or clay that is molded by your light consciousness, but is also impressed upon so you can see images in the Play-Doh or the plasma clay. Why is this important? Picture the plasma as the matrix or the field or Indra's net. And the collective unconscious is this. It's within the plasma, it's consciousness mixed together with plasma. The collective unconscious is the field of archetypes. It is known as the tree of life, the great mother, the shadow, the tower. It holds memories, dreams, imaginations, the angels, the demons, the shamanic things, the goddesses, they're all here. This is where you go when you dream. Okay, so remember, this is the collective unconscious, but it has consciousness. Now I'm going to take you back. We're going to try to make this make sense to why not everything is consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to entirely rework the consciousness map, and I'm going to pray that you understand. So here's a Vessia Pisces. As you can see, it's also a Taurus or a half, like a donut. This is my model of not just consciousness, but of entire creation, using consciousness, plasma, and the self. Now, Carl Jung got us started. I'll start with the middle, with the collective unconscious. As I said, this is the realm of dream, memory, imagination, but also the flip side of that is our reality, our awakeness, when we're conscious. When we're conscious inside of a reality, or what I would call the plasma field. So this, and then when we're asleep, we're dreaming in this plasma state where it's kinetic energy, anything's possible, we can create whatever with our minds. This is the flip side of two worlds of the same little portal, Vessia Pisces middle, where the self is the backboard of it, and it's also the front of it. So it's the self, and in the middle is this ooey gooey state of the subconscious, and also what Carl Jung would call the conscious. I would just call it the mix of consciousness and plasma, or dream time as the Aboriginals would call it. I will get back to this in a moment. So it's almost like a spiritual simulation or machine in a way, where there's two things that make this up, our little world. There's the realm of consciousness and the realm of plasma. We'll start with consciousness. This is known as unplasma. There is no plasma. And as we go back to the plasma, that means no clay, nothing to mold, no energy. So in this state, there's light, thought, mind, time. It's more linear. It's like the Father. And then we go to the plasma, or what I would call the unconscious, which is not the same as Carl Jung's unconscious. It just is without consciousness, without light, dark, sensory, sentience, the body, spatial, nonlinear, mist, the mother. This is the divine child, which is the middle. Creation, imagination. You see where I'm getting at? It makes sense. So, although plasma and consciousness are differentiated, they are part of the one. Just like you see, it's like a tube that goes back, like a torus. It's all part of the same circle, the same one. Differentiated almost perfectly so we could have this human experience. A word on plasma beings are beings that are in plasma. They're energetic mist beings. I'm sure you have seen them in meditation. There are beings of light that speak to you just in thought. There's like a knowing or intuition, then there's like a clairaudience or thought. And there's beings of both in this plasma field. Spirits, ghosts, archetypes, angels. These are a mix. And then obviously us humans on the flip side of that in the 3D world. Don't ask me how I know any of this. This is just things I think. It's like a knowing. I'm entirely aware this could be wrong. I think this can evolve. Right now, this is my truth. This is my reality, and I'm sharing it for people who resonate with it. This to me proves that there is a one, which is, see the rectangle around it? That is called the self, the spirit, which I call the one, which then comes through this little portal in the Vestia Pisces, or the donut, is created by the differentiation, the one differentiating itself into two, consciousness and plasma, which are just two aspects of the same thing, the mysterious divine. And then you find the self again in the center, or us humans. Use consciousness and plasma as tools. At least we used to. We forgot how to do that. We can use it for astral projection, for psychic sensing, for telekinesis, for inventing things, for dreaming by plugging into this field. Or we could travel with our consciousness. We also travel with our plasma, or our body energetic soul. So you could travel in your mind with your mind's eye, or you can actually go like out of body with your energy bioplasma body and travel. Just for a better visual, you see the Taurus here. I would say this is plasma, this is consciousness, this is where the sweet little humans are. And all these people talk about what happens in the center of a Taurus and how something like supernatural happens in the middle. That's us. We're special, it's proof. But it's all part of the same thing, which is like wild. One more thing just to bring Carl Jung back in the mix real quick is that, okay, so there's the collective unconscious, which is the subconscious or subplasma. Our human subconscious lies in our biofield, which is the spatialness around our body. That might be hard to explain, but just picture us in a Taurus and the spatialness around our Taurus in our little bubble. If we're all in bubbles, that is where the subconscious is held, which is we can access it when we let go of our logic or our light. I once had a download that we were connected almost like it's a kangaroo womb, like we're little Joey kangaroos, that there is the mother kangaroo or the mother universe that feeds and nourishes us, and that we can go in and out of it as we please, or we can remember it at any time if we choose to. Something interesting about also the kangaroo womb or vagina, they have 3 of them, and it looks like a Taurus. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me, the similarities. That's just a weird side note. I could do a whole deep dive on that, not gonna do it right now. Just one more thing about the subconscious or the middle. It holds some, all of these things here, and then the conscious mind, but this together is in the middle. And when you're in the flip side, the subconscious, you're accessing more of this plasma field through your consciousness. Hope that makes sense. So there is the dark plasma side of this, and plasma can also be light. When consciousness is on it, we start to see images like the dream world. This is consciousness and plasma together. All of a sudden it lights up plasma and creates a multitude of things. Hope that makes sense. And then this is how I would kind of envision just pure consciousness. I try to get an ocean of light. It was not working on AI. I give up. One more thing just about this symbol. I looked this up because I was like, okay, what is positive and negative together in this donut? And I drew it. You see in like the middle and the self, right next to the self to the left, it's like a positive and negative sign. This is a symbol called the Leviathan cross. I had no idea it was satanic. I'm not using it for that reason. But I think the point here is maybe they use it because this symbolizes harmony and balance. The eternal universe is this. Like they're obviously onto something. I'm talking about harnessing this for the greatest good. In no ways this has nothing to do with Satan. Yes, it has to do with dark and light and the multidimensionality, but if you choose to practice whatever, that is for you. I just choose to not do that. I think everything is a story. Everything is what we believe. My own beliefs kind of just lie in this plasma consciousness field through archetypes. I think there is our own inner darkness and light. But as far as actual Lucifer or Satan, it's just not something I choose to pay attention to. But what I do think this crosses to me, this symbol to me, is the balance. It is the magic of creation and humanity that we can harness through magic. Plasma consciousness magic. Okay, excited to see what you thought. Bye.